Hey guys, what's up? It's Bigjackfilms here, and welcome to the first ever live stream we've ever done on YouTube. Yeah, we finally figured out how to work this damn thing. I am using my laptop for this live stream, which I've never done. I've done live streams on Facebook and everything. So yeah, this is a chance for you guys to get to know us, and if you have any questions, fire away. All our links to our content is there. Wow, we already got 2 viewers. Yeah, this is our first time doing a live stream. Who's watching this? I have no idea. I don't know how to go to the comments here. This, again, first time doing this. So yeah, this is just exciting. Hi guys, Bigjackfilms here, aka Jack Buchanan. If you guys have any questions, fire away, and yeah, we'll just be sure to answer them. This is our first time doing a live stream, so okay, let's see, because we've never done this. So it's kind of hard to figure out where the comments are and where everything is. So I'm just gonna look around here. What do we got? Let's see if it's on here. Yep. Okay, we got it. Okay, so we can see the comments here on the chat and everything. I know we're finally doing this. Yeah. Hey Nick, how you doing? Finally, great to see you. Hey, Eric. Hey, Stego Rigo. Hey, Oscar Stanton. I'm sorry if I pronounced these names. I am not very good with pronouncing names. So, yeah, we've never done this. So, if you guys have any questions, fire away. Let's see here. Thank you, Oscar. What nostalgic films would I want to see on Blu-ray? That's a toughie. I'm trying to think of ones that haven't really gotten a release in terms of what I'd want nostalgic wise. Probably Gumby the movie on Blu-ray. I'd probably want that. I'd probably want Felix the Cat the movie. Because I grew up with a lot of old school stuff from when I was a kid. Like a lot of obscure movies. So probably Gumby the movie, probably Felix the Cat. Just trying to think what other movie. I'm waiting for my King Kong 76 Blu-ray. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. I am waiting for that. That and King Kong Lives. Once they come out on Blu-ray, I will buy them, and I hope they have the deleted scenes that are on the Region 2 Blu-ray. That's my question, Oscar. Good, Nick. Cool. You're playing Killing Floor 2. Okay, for those who are asking about Kong, King of the Apes, that is coming. That is coming in around the end of August, and it's going to be the season 3 finale, and I am currently trying to write the second last episode, and that'll be coming soon. Hi, Wayne. How you doing? If I ever did a prequel story, see, the thing is with Kong, everybody asks me if I'm going to do a sequel or a prequel or whatever, and I think the movie is fine as it is, because I did kind of write a backstory in the prologue to the film, and I was able to essentially write kind of to get people caught up of how this island had to remain hidden for thousands of, if not millions of years, so I wrote that in. But in terms of a prequel or sequel, I'm probably not going to do that. I probably will try to write a sequel, just kind of a little draft or something, but I have no plans to do another Kong movie in the future. No plans. Yes, Mighty Joe Young on Blu-ray, Oscar. I don't know why Disney hasn't released that. I don't even know, I get it flopped, but it's a good movie because Disney sort of feels ashamed of it, I guess, because it flopped. But yeah, I want that on Blu-ray. I want all my Kong movies on Blu-ray. Thank you, Sucks Films. That's thank you very much. We really appreciate that. Yeah, we've it's funny how the King Kong reviews kind of started. Essentially, I think because James Rolfe obviously did Monster Madness Godzillathon. And at the time, I figured, nobody's done a Kong monster kind of marathon. So I figured I'd jump the gun before James did. and he didn't show up until this month for Kong Skull Island. So I just started it as just kind of a side thing. I didn't expect so many people to watch that, and that being my most popular show. So for everybody who's watched the show, I can't thank you enough. I've really appreciated all the questions and remarks and comments that I've gotten for the show. So again, thank you so much. But that's kind of how it started. It's just kind of doing my own version of Monster Madness. Favorite Kong movie that was never made was the 96 remake, because that should have fucking happened even in 2005, I think. Essentially, Jackson, overall, the Jackson movie, I like it. It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate it. I don't hate it whatsoever. But I do feel that if they had used the 96 script, it would have been a better reimagining. This one just felt like story-wise, it felt like the 90s remake of Psycho. Canada Day is great, Nick. Canada Day is fantastic. I went down to Toronto last night, hang out with a few friends, and we saw they had the CN Tower and they had fireworks and shit happening. It was incredible, but I had to leave before it got crazy. And even that was complete chaos in the city. In terms of Eric, in terms of Team Godzilla or Team Kong, I'm Team Kong. I know a lot of people might disagree because Godzilla's got is bigger and everything. Here's my argument, especially for Kong versus Godzilla in 2020, is that Godzilla's going to have more power, no question about it. He's got the atomic breath, but Kong has more strength. So while Godzilla might be able to blow fire at Kong and like get him a bit of distance, Kong can just beat the shit out of him. I'm sorry. Like, I think they're going for strength in terms of Kong, but in terms of power, it's Godzilla. It's going to be a battle of those two kind of elements with that. And interesting enough, our channel is possibly planning to review the Godzilla movies, but it's going to be way down the line, but it's not going to be what you expect it to be. So look forward to that sometime. All right, what other questions we got here? Would you have liked the 96 Kong script to have been made in 1990 and the Jackson film still happened in 2005? That would be tricky because that would mean 2 remakes in a row, and I don't think Universal would want to do that. I think something like The Mummy is an example where it's like, you know, they made it in 99, then they decided to do it in 2017 because they want to cash in on Marvel. But, yeah, that's happening. And also, I should mention, October for our Halloween special, we're going to be doing Mummy Month. We're going to be reviewing the first 3 mummies, the Scorpion King, and the new one. So look forward to that. We've got a lot of reviews on our plate right now. That review my favorite dinosaur movie of all time. Obviously, it's Jurassic Park, but there is a review coming in September. I'm not going to say what the movie is. If you guys follow us on Facebook, you can see kind of the schedule of what we're doing. And that's another thing. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. I've got those now, and I usually like to post stuff there. So you guys can definitely follow me there. Have you ever seen Young Gary? That's the one with the giant kaiju space chicken, right? I think that's what it is. Because I'm a big fan of Movie Bob and his reviews, the big pictures, in Bob We Trust, really that good. He does really good informative reviews. You guys should go check him out. That's as much as I've seen of Your Gary. In terms of kaiju movies, like I'm either Godzilla or Kong. I've never honestly sat through any of the Gamera movies, but I own them. I've never sat through Yogari or any of the other kaiju movies. Like, I've seen Rodan and Mothra. That's the closest I've seen to other kaiju stuff. Would you like to have seen David Bowie's Dracula? Nah. I think the thing is, my personal favorite Dracula will always be Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee. Gary Oldman just looks silly. Luke Evans, I didn't even bother seeing that. So, the thing is with the Universal monster movies is the way I see it, they should try to make them scary. The problem is they're making them too action-oriented. And I think if they made them scary, it would be a lot better for this universe. They shouldn't go the Avengers route. They should try to make it more horror related. So if you're going to cast Dracula, you got to have something on the style of Lugosi and Lee. Thank you, Eric. We're glad. That's the biggest compliment I've gotten with the films and stuff is that um, it's inspired so many people. Like my reviews and my fan film itself have inspired so many people to say we want to make, you know, Kong films and everything. So I think that's the biggest compliment I can take from this film and this experience working on it. Yeah, funny enough, if you guys want to know something, my dad was a big person in like the music industry. Not too big, but he did a lot of shows. He worked on Pink Floyd's The Wall, believe it or not, and he did a couple promotional things for it. I'm not too sure the details. I'd have to ask him. But yeah, he worked on that, and that's why I have that poster. In fact, like in this basement I have, there are tons of posters and stuff of a lot of the shows he's worked on. Wasai Kingu Kongu, you're gonna try to recreate it. All right, I'd probably be in to see that. I'll be looking forward to that. I'll be wanting to see that when it's ready to go. We'll have to see, Nick. I'm not gonna say the release or anything, but it's getting there. I'd rather have Jack Nicholson, honestly, because Jack Nicholson is cool. And if you know what, I will keep this in mind with this channel. I will never get political on this channel. None of that crap, because I don't want to get involved in any issue, any drama. Essentially, I'm not the kind of person to do that on YouTube. That's not what I do. My intention is just to entertain you guys and just to keep you guys entertained with reviews and crappy films. But I guess to quote the great Robin Williams, if you go watch his Weapons of Self-Destruction comedy show, he says that Jack Nicholson would have been an amazing president of the United States, and I kind of agree with that. That's as close as we're going to get with political stuff. Favorite Godzilla movie? That's interesting because I have thought about doing a top 10 favorite Godzilla films, and there are a couple that I do enjoy. But I think if I'm going to have to pick my favorite Godzilla film, I'm going to choose Godzilla vs. Destroya, because that one is not only one of the darker Godzilla movies, which I like my Godzilla to be dark and serious. I don't like the campy save the universe Godzilla. I'm more like Godzilla is a force of destruction that needs to be, you know, like dealt with very seriously. But with Godzilla vs. Destroya, he's still a force of nature, but he dies, and it's really sad. And that, in my opinion, is the best Godzilla movie. And also, to kind of end the entire franchise, it kind of does its job well, even though, you know, Godzilla Jr. at the end is the established next generation. And I like to think that possibly Godzilla 2000, that is Godzilla Jr., but we can't be sure. I don't know all the details on the lore or anything, because when it comes to Godzilla, I am a mild fan. I'm not as hardcore as most. Like, I like Godzilla. I love Godzilla. But I'm not one to be like, you know, as hardcore as most fans are. So that's what I usually like to think of that stuff. But yeah, so this live stream, I'm actually surprised how well this is doing. I'm glad to see so many people talking to me. I guess I should maybe mention some of the plans coming up for reviews. The next reviews you guys saw for my Earthquake review, that is going to be G.I. Joe Retaliation. I am working on that right now. I'm just finalizing the script with my buddies to see if we can make it a little better. Then there's also the next Kong review is going to be the King Kong video games, and I will be reviewing those on in July. So the basic premise is I try to get at least 2 reviews out a month with other video content in between. That's kind of like how the schedule works for me. So that's July. August is going to be try to be the season finale to season 3, which is going to be the Netflix show, which I'll be honest, guys, I am not looking forward to that show whatsoever. It just looks so fucking terrible, and I know there's probably people who like it, but for me, I'm like, no, 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 I'm not. I will not review that. Well, I will review it, but I'm just, God help me, basically. That's how it works. Holy crap, we got a lot of comments. Wow, they're just scrolling by. Holy shit. All right, let's see here. Wow, I did not expect this many comments. Okay. All right, hey, Palenzo, how you doing? Do you think Robert Englund could work as an older Carnage in an upcoming Tom Hardy Venom film? See, Robert Englund is always going to be Freddy Krueger. As Carnage, I don't think that I wouldn't recommend that. Like, I'm hearing rumors that the guy who plays the Joker in Gotham is going to be Carnage. I wouldn't mind that, except he's already playing a really good Joker right now, and I'm really hoping with Gotham that we can move on from the kid Batman and actually get to fucking Batman. Because it's kind of like, the show is kind of like Smallville. You're making a show about this character in the lore without the title character, and for someone like me, it's like, yeah, I want to see Batman. I want to see Superman. I don't want to see these younger versions, which are cool, but I don't want to spend a whole show on it. But it's funny because Carnage was supposed to be the Cap final villain for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 5, but obviously Sony, had their issue with Sam Raimi, and they rebooted it, and those were terrible, and then, they're doing the new ones, which I'm looking forward to, the new Spider-Man, so, yeah, we'll have to see how Carnage does. Hello, how you doing? How would you like to see one of those Dino De Laurentiis Orca versus King Kong? That is, because for the Kong, it's going to be a debate between doing it for a Kong review or a Let's Talk, because I don't think there's enough information on it to do a full episode. But Kong versus Orca as a whole, it's a cool idea, but it's kind of a stupid idea. I would much rather see him fight Jaws, honestly. That would be a much better film. I'm going to just try to put that down a little bit. But yeah, I just think it's a stupid idea, but I'd pay to see it if it was made. All right, what else do we have here? Have you seen the film Riccio, the story of Ricky? No, but I've seen several reviews of it, and it's okay, I guess. All right. Do you think Universal will look for a new dinosaur franchise after Jurassic World trilogy has wrapped up? And if so, what would you like to see? I think with Jurassic Park is their definitive franchise. I don't think they're going to be looking into any other dinosaur related stuff. I mean, unless they got the rights to Dino Riders, that's the only way. But as long as they don't connect to Jurassic Park, I think Jurassic Park, they should find some way to continue it. And I'd say, if anything, if they're going to do more sequels, they should stick closer to the novel or take elements from the comics or the games for stories and adventures. I think that would work a lot better. In terms of the new movie, I am looking forward to it. I have talked to a lot of people who are hardcore fans, and they're also looking forward to it, but a lot of people are saying this could be the Lost World all over again, which that's kind of concerning, but I am very optimistic about the fifth one. And also, I should announce in 2018 there will be another 4-part Jurassic Park Legacy. They're going to be basically 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to be talking about the video games, most will be the arcade by Sega from '94. I'm going to be talking about the ride, and I'm going to be talking about the toys, because I do own a good share of Jurassic Park toys. So that's coming in around April, May of next year. Have you seen 22 Jump Street? I've never seen any of that stuff. I've never seen any of the 22 or 21 Jump Street movies, and they're not really my thing, honestly. I'm very special effects heavy action movies, love anime, and fantasy, sci-fi, and so on. Thanks for liking my fan film, man. We really appreciate it. Hi, Dimitri. Not much. Doing really well. He worked on the show. He worked on like the tour that they did back then in the '80s. I think that was. First story has gone the main antagonist. Yeah, I haven't read the Kong King of Skull Island book, but I've never I own it, but I've never read it, essentially. Thank you, I guess. Everybody says I look like my dad too. Yeah, there was a King Kong musical. There were two, actually. There was the Mighty Kong, which was not that good, and the musical that it came out in Australia. Although I just heard news that they're going to put it in New York, so I will do my goddamn best for you guys to go down to New York just to review this thing. So hopefully by that time somebody has a copy of the show and I can use that for clips, and I might actually review it in New York. That would actually be kind of cool, because if I go to New York, I am going to see that show. But I'm also going to probably do like a little tour around all the locations where they shot all the Kong movies. I think that'd be kind of cool to do as well. I've done that before, actually. When I was doing my fan film. This is a funny story. When I was doing my fan film around 2011, I did take a visit to New York City, and because my mom wanted to take me. So essentially, what I did was I figured I might as well go ahead and get my background shots for the New York sequences, which I did. So there are elements in the movie where I did use actual footage. I went to New York to shoot footage for it. So a lot of the background plates and some of the people running away and the stuff in Times Square, that was all shot for real in New York. So it's called production value. And if you have the advantage to do something like that, take advantage of it and just film it, is how I would put it. Since you have your fan film done, will there be a Godzilla fan film? No. In terms of my next film, I will get into this a little bit. I have always been a huge fan of the fantasy genre since Lord of the Rings, and who knows, I might review those in the future. That would be something I need to do, like sort of a fantasy film sort of run of reviews. But I've always been a fan of fantasy and Dungeons and Dragons. I love LARPing. I love doing like battle reenactments and stuff. They're a lot of fun. But in terms of my favorite fantasy franchises, I love Lord of the Rings. That's the definitive fantasy. Game of Thrones is great. I'm enjoying a lot of it. I've watched it since the beginning. But my favorite fantasy thing, and I consider it fantasy, is the anime series Inuyasha. I started watching that at age 13, and it was the show that kind of transitioned me and treated me more like an adult. So I ended up watching that, and I just was blown away by its characters and story. And I'm actually rewatching it now. I'm very close to the end of the original series. I gotta watch the fourth film, and then I'm gonna go into the final act, which I have yet to see in its entirety. Like, I know most of the spoilers, but I haven't seen it in its entirety. With Inuyasha, I've decided I want to do some sort of fan film on that and sort of explore more of the story of the characters, which I enjoy a lot of. So that's going to be my next film. It's going to be a Inuyasha fan film, because I feel like there's more to tell with this story and there's more sort of adventures to follow. Now we're debating between either a continuation or a anthology series of films. So it's in the works. I'm currently trying to write it and pitch it to a few people. So that is to come sometime down the line. All right. Are you going to watch War of the Planet of the Apes? Abso-freaking-lutely. I have loved this new series of Apes films. I felt they were incredibly well done. I'm just hoping that this will... I know they're planning a fourth one, but I'm really hoping this would be the last one, because it would be great, the ending, to see the Statue of Liberty as kind of... It's come full circle, and that means people will go back and watch the originals, because that's what I'm hoping this series does. It not only reintroduces people to the Apes franchise, but it also makes them want to go back and watch the old ones. Have you seen any of Wikizilla's videos? Who's Wikizilla? First I thought you said Wherezilla. I like Wherezilla. He's a really good YouTuber. I think he's actually like His videos are a little crude, but he gets the point across, and there are some moments where it's really funny. I thought his review of Kong 76 was actually pretty decent, as well as King Kong Lives, and the Godzilla Revenge review was hysterical, because that movie is the piece of fucking crap. That is the worst Godzilla thing ever, honestly. Do you think Jesse Eisenberg would have been better playing something like the Riddler or the Mad Hatter? Riddler, yes, because that's what I saw in that movie. I saw the Riddler with Jesse Eisenberg. I did not see Lex Luthor whatsoever. And I know exactly what Warner Brothers was doing. They were just essentially trying to do the Heath Ledger Joker again. I could do a whole Let's Talk video about why people are kind of boycotting DC. And I think it's mostly this. I'll bring it up here. It's mostly due to the fact that it all started when Ben Affleck was cast as Batman. Because when they first announced it at San Diego Comic-Con in 2013, they announced Batman vs. Superman, and everybody, the whole public assumed that Christian Bale was coming back, and that the Christian Bale movies would be the start of this series. But once Ben Affleck was cast, people realized those movies are not going to be in canon. So they felt, all right, well, they're just rebooting it, and it's going to suck, especially with Man of Steel not doing that great. That's kind of my theory of why a lot of people are not a fan of this series, is because it all started, well, there's more to it, but the main reason was because Ben Affleck was cast. And I loved Ben Affleck as Batman. He was great. But in terms of the Christian Bale series, because a lot of people love that, they felt like because that's no longer canon, they decided, now we're not going to watch this anymore. Yes, Godzilla vs. Destroya is a good movie. Have you seen the 1979 Nosferatu movie? No, but I actually watched the original 1922 film. I think it was the silent one with the Nosferatu. I watched that for the first time on Halloween. It was actually kind of a freaky movie. I was surprised. I watched that back to back with Phantom of the Opera. Yeah, Godzilla vs. Destroya was great. All right, see you later, Nick. Yeah, Destroya is basically a kaiju devil. He's a Balrog. He's a freaking Balrog from Lord of the Rings. You can just easily, some other company, if they decide to take it and sell it, they'd be like Godzilla versus the Balrog. Although that would be fucking awesome. No, you know what? I'm not a brony. That's the thing. I'm not anti-brony. A lot of my friends are bronies. Believe it or not, Brett Charles, who plays Jack Driscoll, and Evan Matthews, who plays Bob, total bronies. And I guess I don't understand why it's so popular, but you like what you like, and I respect that, and I think in some areas, it's cute, I guess, but I am not a brony whatsoever. That was I never got caught on to that stuff. I never catch on to fads. Pogs, Fidget Spinners right now, Pokemon, Crazy Bones, Yu-Gi-Oh, My Little Pony, whatever. I never catch on to fads. Never catch on to that stuff, because I would rather spend my money on other things, honestly. Would you like to see Toho to have helped made a Transformers film in the late 80s? Live action or animated? Because I think animated would be the way to go. But here's the thing with the Transformers films. I'll give you kind of my rundown of what I think of them. I like the first one. I think the first one is a fun popcorn movie, and it's actually very entertaining. I just saw Oliver Harper's retrospective, and in a way, it actually made me want to go back and rewatch it. Revenge of the Fallen sucks ass. Revenge of the Fallen is fucking terrible. Dark of the Moon, I think, is incredibly epic. The finale is great. It's way too fucking long. And 4 and 5, I have not seen. because honestly, I feel like they've been getting worse and worse from what I've told. The fourth one is not that good, and the fifth one is getting panned. So, in terms of the animated film, I have yet to see that, but I've seen so many reviews that I've kind of got the gist of it with Transformers. And the thing is with Transformers, I grew up with that. I did grow up with Transformers, but I never grew up with G1. I grew up with Beast Wars. Beast Wars was my Transformers. In fact, I actually have a few of the Transformers in my room. But yeah, I was always a Beast Wars fan, and I think it's kind of, don't let Michael Bay do it, but I wouldn't mind a Beast Wars movie. Maybe that would be kind of cool, honestly, to see. And I've seen so many fan trailers. I'm like, that could work. The Beast Wars movie would be kind of cool to do, as long as it's not Michael Bay. As long as it's not Michael Bay. You know what, Eric? I'm going to let you know right now. I think Godzilla and Kong are going to team up in Godzilla 2020. The obvious joke people are going to make is like, Godzilla has Kong down and Kong says, "Save Mothra! Save Mothra!" I don't think that's going to be the case. I think how it's going to work is that Godzilla and King Kong are going to be like animals defending their territory. And it's a very territorial battle. And they obviously fight, for territory or dominance or whatever. But eventually, I think what's going to happen is that there's going to be another monster. And I'm going to guess Gigan, if anything. Gigan or Orga would be cool. And it becomes the bigger threat. So Kong and Godzilla basically have to team up to fight him. And I think that's how it's going to go down. And I'd be okay with that. Because the way I see it is that it's also like Godzilla, destroyed San Francisco, but he also saved everybody. But Kong, because, he is a guardian, a king, he feels like Godzilla's a threat. So it's a very animal instinctive battle is how I'm seeing it. But once the bigger threat comes in, they're going to team up, is how I see it, in terms of Godzilla versus Kong. I suck at rapping, so I cannot do that. Hi, Spooky Bones. Godzilla is a ripoff of MLP. Oh, holy shit, I'm getting like comment after comment here. God damn. I'm getting so many questions right now. Oh, I gotta scroll up and backtrack. I'm totally lost in the comments now. Holy shit. A pony for a lie. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Earthquake is a good movie, Nostalgia fan. Definitely check it out. It does have its flaws, but it's worth it for all the Earthquake stuff alone. Thanks. We do our best with our reviews. And it's funny because it's funny because on Facebook I've gotten so many connections now to a lot of people, and a lot of them really enjoy my work. So yeah, that's really great. I'm actually friends with Doug Walker and a few other people, and they've enjoyed my work. They like a lot of my stuff. And in terms of getting on Channel Awesome, I have no clue. I never grew up with Hellboy, unfortunately. You know what? A Romeo and Juliet Monty Python movie would be kind of funny. That would be very funny. I love Monty Python. Love the Holy Grail. That's a great movie. Hi, Rice Duke. I'm sorry if this is a little late. Have you ever considered reviewing the live-action Flintstones movie? Yes, actually, because I grew up with that shit, and I love. You know what? The live-action Flintstones movie, I know is not that great, but it's a guilty pleasure. I think the one thing I can take from it is that the sets are incredible in that film. The sets are absolutely amazing. And I know nostalgia critics said, "Oh, that's not the sets; those are the Happy Meal toys on display." That's kind of true because they did make Happy Meal toys out of that. But the sets in that movie, and I will admit the effects, they're really good in that film. And the casting is actually pretty brilliant, except for Rosie O'Donnell. No, I know a few people who don't like her. I mean, she's funny in some areas, but as Betty, nah, I prefer the one they cast in the prequel, Viva Rock Vegas, which I might review that as well sometime down the road. And it's funny because Stannis Baratheon is, or not Stannis, Robert Baratheon is Fred Flintstone, and a lot of people don't know that, which I think is hysterical. Let's play with ponies. I'm just reading all these comments. Who are you talking to? If there was an 80s Dragon Ball film in the same style as Labyrinth, do you think Doug Bradley, the guy who played Pinion? I have no idea. I know there was a Dragon Ball movie. I forgot what it was. It was some sort of Chinese film, live action film, and a lot of people say that's better than Evolution. But yeah, and I might review Evolution sometime down the road because as a big Dragon Ball fan, it is not that great at all. I actually did do a King Kong claymation film. How long ago was this? I was actually it's funny because I tried to do it, and I have a test reel on my original channel. You can go check it out there. I think it's called King Kong version 222B. I don't know why I named it that, but I tried to do it in claymation. It didn't hold up that well, so yeah, that's where you can. That's the closest I got. But yeah, that's that. Again, War at the Planet of the Apes is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Would you like to see Charles Dance to replace Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor? I'd actually like to see Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor. That would be probably a way to save that whole character, is if they got Bryan Cranston. My God, there's a lot of mean comments. I have thought about reviewing the Apes movies, but it would take a while to put together. It would take a while. Well, they're bringing back Jeff Goldblum to their film limited productions. They're bringing back Jeff Goldblum, so hopefully Sam Neill shows up in one of them. Thoughts on God from the Kong King of Skull Island book? He's okay. As a primary villain, I think the primary villain for Kong will always be the Tyrannosaurus or the Statosaurus, whatever you want to go with. Yeah, for me, it's just kind of he's just kind of eh. He's just a giant bird. Not much, Rice Duke. How you doing? Okay, the 90s Jungle Book, because this is actually the new Jungle Book is the second time Disney's done a live action version. There was one before that, and I remember watching it as a kid. I haven't seen it since, but the one scene I remember the most was the guy who gets stuck in quicksand and he dies from quicksand. That horrified me as a kid. Kong fighting a giant raptor would be cool. I have no idea if Toho could do a good Jungle Book. There was a Jungle Book anime. I do know that. Yes, Inuyasha is awesome. I think they should bring in Pinhead, and I think they should bring in. They gotta bring Michael. They gotta bring Pinhead, Michael Myers, and Leatherface. They gotta do one of those. Oh, Brennan Tuttle from Brennan's Cult Movie Reviews. I really love his work. He does honestly the best Godzilla reviews. But I would if well, he is in Canada. It'd be cool to work with them. I think that'd be a cool idea. Of Inuyasha, that's kind of the plan. Have you seen the film Logan? No, and to be honest, the only X-Men film I've ever seen is Deadpool, and that was fucking hilarious. King Kong or Lord of the Rings? Kong is better than Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry. Greetings from Uguri. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know I had fans there. Who are my favorite YouTubers? Well, Channel Awesome, ABGN, those in terms of they were the real inspiration to get me into doing videos was Channel Awesome and Cinemassacre. Always love those guys, and they've been real. They like I could not believe how nice a lot of these guys are when I've met them. Love the Cinema Snub. Love actually really liking Tony Goldmark right now, aka some jerk with a camera. He is a very funny guy. If you guys want to watch some good theme park review videos, check him out. And also Spazmaster. I feel Spazmaster doesn't get enough attention. He did like one of the best retrospectives on Universal Studios I've ever seen. So, and that was actually they were the reasons I did the Confrontation reviews was because of that. Other YouTubers, I really was when I was in high school, I was more focused on trying to do more film stuff. And a lot of my film school was actually Backyard Effects, Indie Mogul. So I love those guys. They show you how to do stuff for dirt cheap. And I also really like what's the other one? The Homemade Movies guys. Those guys are great. There are several other people, Forest Fire 101, who got me into doing Lego stuff. And there's a lot of people out there. I can't really name all of them. Thoughts on Shin Gojira? It looks great. I haven't seen it yet, but as far as I know, I've seen most of the spoilers. The Godzilla looks great. I love how dark it goes. I like how it's like a modern hard reboot. It's not, it's not completely, a sequel or anything like that. But I'm really looking forward to getting it to watching it when I get my hands on it. Are you planning to get the Jurassic World 2 toys by Mattel? If they look like the Kenner toys, because the Jurassic World toys sucked. The only thing that was good was the Indominus toy. Are you gonna review the Hulk movies? Probably not. The Hulk movies have I remember I saw the first Ang Lee Hulk. I fell asleep, and then I never saw that other one. But I should watch the other one because I hear the other one's really good. And also, it was shot in Toronto. Who would you want as a villain of the solo Batman movie? Man-Bat. Man-Bat or Clayface. Or even the Riddler. Because they haven't gotten much attention in like a long-ass time. So, and I also want Robin to come back. Yes, Godzilla vs. the Balrog would be awesome. Holy shit, there's a lot of comments. Okay, I'm going to scroll down to the later comments because there's just too many of them. A King Kong show on Channel Awesome Hollow? Thoughts on Congo with Ernie Hudson? Guilty pleasure. Tim Curry and Ernie Hudson make that movie, and the ape suits are actually not half bad. Good remakes or reboots? I prefer, honestly, because remakes are getting out of hand. It depends on the remake. If you're doing something like Kong, or you're doing something like Godzilla, that's fine. But a reboot, I like the soft reboots because you can do a new movie and also have it be a sequel. Oh, I think, honestly, I would go with the Indominus. Indominus would win that fight. Yes, Jack Hamilton. A movie with all those people would have been incredible. Kong versus King Ghidorah. I would probably go with King Ghidorah because he's a bit more powerful. Sorry, Kong. All the Fantastic movies four movies are terrible. Except I would say if there's the least worst, it would have to be the 2005 film was the least worst. I remember saw that in the drive-in and I thought that was okay. Horror film you're excited for this year? It. I want to see that because the first film scared the crap out of me as a kid, but now it's just a pure comedy. But the new It actually looks legitimately scary. So I want to see that. Kong would beat the Indominus. That'd be cool. I think that actually happened in the comics with InGen making a giant gorilla. That would be cool. That'd be a good plot twist, Jack. That would be a good plot twist if Lex was actually the real son was Edward Nygma. Hi, Black Jack. I love it. It's like Jack Black, but it's the opposite. Kong Skull Island was definitely better. Godzilla 2014, every time I go back, it's like, it's too much of a cock tease, honestly. They keep teasing that shit. Yes, okay, interesting about, that's a good question, Gavin Cummings. Honestly, like, I'm planning to do a Let's Talk that's kind of a sort of re-review of Kong 76, but I am going to try to explain what's not that good about it. What's really not, the problems it has. Because, let's be honest, guys, no movie is perfect. As much as we love our favorite films, no movie is without flaw. So I think because I praised Kong 76, I have read many comments, and I have read a lot of people's disagreement with it and their points of view on it. So I am going to basically talk about that and say, yes, that movie does have a few problems. Thoughts on James Bond? I've only seen Skyfall. That was my first Bond movie, although my favorite Bond actor is probably Pierce Brosnan, because that's what I was a 90s kid, and that's what we grew up with. But Daniel Craig's fine, and Sean Connery is great. So Connery, Craig, and Bronson are my favorite Bonds, if I had to choose, even though I've never seen them. I've never seen any of the RoboCop movies. I want to, but I just haven't had time. And thank you from Chile. Again, fans from Chile. Holy shit. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, that's a tie. That's a tie, Hollow. Kong Skull Island or Congo 5. It's a tie. I can't decide. JP Velociraptors would do better. Would win for sure. Also with let's see here. Holy crap. 80s Toho Transformers idea. Live action? That would be possible, but I don't think it would be that good if it was a live action Toho Transformers. I cannot. That is way too. I'll try. No, I'm not gonna. I can't. It's too hard. Sorry, buddy. Yes. Oh, Lord of the Flies. You got me there, Jack. You got me there. I thought you said Lord of the Rings. I've never seen Lord of the Flies. I've never seen John Wick, and I've heard a few things about it. The problem is, I've heard the spoiler that the dog dies, and I can't do movies where dogs die. I could do a whole video on that, like to talk about about dog movies and why I will never watch them, because the big spoiler alert: the dog dies. I slightly prefer Godzilla 2014, maybe because I'm a bit more of a Godzilla fan than a Kong fan. Good for you. More power to you if you like Godzilla. That is a possibility. A top 10 favorite films in the future. I feel like, if anything, I should review my favorite films first and then do a top 10. Is how because there's still a couple of movies I have yet to review that are my favorite films. Thoughts on the rumored King Kong TV show? I'll have to see when the first trailer comes out. I'm gonna hold my breath on that one, even though it's being produced by Global, which is a Canadian television company, which is right here. And if they shoot it here, then I'll be like, I will try to find a way to go on the set, come hell or high water, because it is Global. So, but I'll be looking forward to that. I think it sounds interesting, as long as it's not like the cartoons. I'm sorry, people, but the animated Kong TV shows have never worked for me. Never worked for me. I've never seen any of the Gamera films, but I own a couple of them. Yeah, it's hard to choose because Kong 33 is more of an adventure movie, and Godzilla 54 is more of a political horror drama. No, the original Funimation Frieza was always my favorite, and I know there's a new guy doing it for Kai and all the new stuff. I always preferred the one from the original Funimation because I grew up with that, and she was great. She was great. Any Toho monster or kaiju would you like to see Kong fight? Rodan. Kong needs to fight Rodan at one point. Kong definitely needs to fight Rodan. But you see, like, being beat with a bat is equally as bad. You know, that's the problem. I cannot do dog movies. I had this 3-strike thing that happened. I'll tell you, this is a great story. Because I like to tell stories, you guys. You know, we love our stories. For me, with dog movies, there's a couple of good ones. You know, there's Homeward Bound. I love Homeward Bound. That's a great one. But things like My Dog Skip, I saw that in theaters, and I had to leave the theater because I was it made me cry too much. And I basically, not only does the kid hit the dog with a baseball glove, dog runs away, and he gets hit on the head with a fucking shovel. And then, you know, he thinks he's dead, but then he's alive. Yay, happy ending. No, he dies of old age. It's like, fuck you, movie! Why do you play with my emotions? So at that point, I was like, yeah, dog movies kind of are not my thing. And then I read the book Where the Red Fern Grows, and I read it, and I cried reading that. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, that made me cry. And then I'm like, no more dog movies. No more dog movies. I refuse to watch any more dog movies. And my mom said, oh, let's watch Marley and Me. And I'm like, no dog movies, no. And then she's like, oh, the dog doesn't die. I was like, are you sure? Biggest fucking lie. The dog dies, and then I was just like, I will never watch another dog movie again. Never again. Because dogs or animals I'm a big animal person. I am not a fan of abuse of animals or anything, so with me, I can't sit through stuff like that because I get too emotionally invested. All right, what do we got in terms of questions? I would like to review the Middle Earth Saga. That is something that is on my my to-do list in the future. I haven't seen the interview, no. Okay, depending on the dub, Jack, of Frieza, are you talking about the Ocean dub that Saban did, or the Funimation dub that they eventually took over? Actually, you know what? A Baby God Spooky Bones 223. A Baby Godzilla would be actually I'd be fine with that as long as he doesn't look like Minya, and as long as he doesn't look like Junior from Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. You know, as long but they can make him cute, but not overly cute where it's like, you know, he's totally not threatening. Because it's another Godzilla, so good choices, James Bond 007. Oh, I didn't know 007 was on this chat. That's awesome. Yeah, good choices there, man. I've never heard of that YouTuber, Jack. Never heard of him. Okay, the Funimation. I can see in some areas where it's bad, where some of that stuff, but again, it's mostly nostalgia value with Dragon Ball Z for me. I am hoping to see Spider-Man Homecoming. Because I haven't gotten a chance to see that many movies because I just haven't had time. And also the weather here in Canada has been fucking terrible. It's been rain. Like if I was shooting Kong still and it was raining every day, I wouldn't be able to do it. It'd be terrible. So at least with the rain, I haven't been able to go to work because I work outside. and I've been able to do more of my videos. So the rain is kind of a gift and a curse. Yes, I'm looking forward to Planet of the Apes, as I said. Okay, I will point this right now. I love One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's one of my favorite films. So I will say that. Maybe a review. I don't know. Because that shit gets pretty deep. So One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is definitely my favorite film. Worst Kong film? Bangor King Kong. Or not Bangor King Kong. King of the Lost World. Because The Asylum makes the shittiest fucking movies I've ever seen in my life. They are the worst of the worst. That's the worst it gets. But at least Bangor King Kong, as shitty as much as it looks like it was filmed in a smelly garbage dump, at least it is somewhat more tolerable because at least they show the effects. The King of the Lost World effects are just the fucking terrible. Fucking terrible. I may want to go back and maybe re-review that because I feel like my review was very short, but just to do a full angry rant would just be incredible. Eric, why do you make me choose? Well, if you watch the Superman animated series episode with Titano, you'll probably know who would win that one. Which 3 fictional characters would you like to chain in the outside of a rocket and launch into space? Joffrey, Naraku, and, the Emperor. Probably. They are the 3 best villains I've ever seen in any film, in any series. Have you played the King Kong game for the 2005 movie? I actually am currently playing it right now, and that is going to be part of the reviews. Actually, I'll just say this right now. I have 3 versions of the game. I have the Xbox version, which I am currently playing. I have the DS version, which I have yet to play because I don't have a DS. I have to borrow it from Brad, which you guys should go subscribe to Brad, Studio 95, because he needs as much of a fan base as I do. And his game reviews are incredible. Whereas I review movies, he reviews games. So the DS, I do own the DS version, and I do own the Game Boy Advance one. So that is coming up sometime down the road, the King Kong games. And it'll be my first game review, which will be awesome. Holy crap, the comments are scrolling by. I don't know what the fuck Tippi Hendren is. Will you watch Valerian? I don't know what that is. Is that like a kaiju movie? If any monster, and realistically, what movie monster would you think? The most logical would probably be Kong. At least like a giant gorilla the size of an elephant isn't too far off. Although a dinosaur would be cool if we can get those back again. Oh yeah, looking forward to Godzilla 2, and at least it's not going to be a complete tease like the other one was. Sorry, glasses are a little messed up here. Okay. Worst Godzilla film: Godzilla's Revenge. That is the worst one. That would be actually kind of cool. A Far Cry of Kong Skull Island. That'd be cool. The survival game. That'd be like the 2005 game. There's some great franchises out there. From the Birds. The Birds is a great movie. That is probably my personal favorite Hitchcock film. I would be up the moon. It's funny with Doug Walker. He is a really nice guy in person, and I've met him several times. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I always try to find the best advice from him in terms of doing videos. And it's interesting because him and James Rolfe make an audio cameo in my Kong remake. If you go to the New York stuff, you might be able to hear them. But it's interesting because he's coming to Con Bravo, so I am going to go meet him there. And I'm going to be giving him a copy of the film. And hopefully he'll probably look at it and probably watch it and review it. I'll just tell him, do with it what you will. I don't care, honestly. Oh yeah, Kong as a bodyguard would be fucking amazing. The future of the Indiana Jones franchise. I think a fifth film is kind of unnecessary because the fourth one sucked. That was fucking atrocious. And I think they should do what they do with James Bond, where they recast him every few years and do kind of new adventures, kind of like reboots, but it's like they don't try to copy the other films. They just try to do new adventures. I think that would be a way to go with Indiana Jones. I have no clue about the laws of physics, so. I have yet to watch the Back to the Future animated series because I haven't gotten a hold of it. I haven't got the new box set. I love Back to the Future. That's, again, I'll put that out as one of my favorite films of all time is Back to the Future. And coming up in August, I'll bring this up. The end of August, I will be technically reviewing the Back to the Future trilogy, but it's going to be the top 10 best moments in the trilogy because I physically do not have time to review all three films, plus the ride, plus the animated series, plus the game, which are essentially 4, 5, and 6. But I am doing a top 10 list of the best Back to the Future moments, and that will be coming in August. I've never seen the American Pie films. The Star Wars movies are coming up. I will be reviewing the Star Wars trilogy, and I am looking forward to Episode 8. I am looking forward to that. Thoughts on the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie? It's okay. I wouldn't say it's like one of the worst movies ever made, but it's actually passable. But is it a good adaptation of Mario? Hell no. Hell no. Favorite Godzilla enemy besides Kong? King Ghidorah has always been the definitive Godzilla enemy. That or Gigan or Mechagodzilla. Those three are the best Godzilla villains. Actor I'm most pleased to share the same name with. Probably Nicholson or Black, honestly. You know, you don't see many Jacks in the world of directing. Make a real King Kong film. I would definitely, if I were to make a real Kong film, I would do an adaptation of the 96 draft. That or The Legend of King Kong by Bill Goldman. I'd do one of those. Biggest plot twist in a movie? There's only a few that come to mind. Darth Vader being Luke's father. Spoiler alert. I should say all spoilers. I actually thought the twist in The Dark Knight Rises was really good. I know a lot of people don't like that movie, and a lot of people say it hasn't held up, but that twist really caught me off guard because I was so jacked up, no pun intended, watching that movie. And I thought, honestly, like that twist was great. I did not see that coming. That actually, Patrick Stewart as Lex Luthor, maybe. That would be up in the air. I'd much rather see him as Mr. Freeze. What dinosaur would you have as a pet? I'd probably the ones that are most less likely to eat you. Probably a Triceratops, because those things are cool, and it'd be cool to ride one of those into battle. Have I seen The Birds too? Absolutely, I have. That's great. When I was a kid, I used to go to a lot of video stores. I used to go to the library to rent movies, and this library we had the second movie, and I had no clue they made one, and I watched it, I'm like, this is stupid. That was terrible. And yeah, The Birds 2 is a really bad movie. All right. What do you think will win Godzilla vs. Kong 2020? Who do you think will be the monster? And I want to go with Gigan. Gigan, or I think if they're going to do a final Godzilla movie in the Legendary Verse, they're going to use Destroya. Would be the better option. I never got into Doctor Who. I think it looks cool, but I don't think I would have the time to watch it, and I don't think I'd be a fan of it. It's kind of confusing, honestly. When it comes to time travel, it'll always be Back to the Future. Tom Hardy is Venom. I'm all for it. That actually is perfect casting. I'm actually looking forward to see what they do with that, as long as they don't fuck it up like Spider-Man 3. forgot to put a question mark on my question. What would you give Godzilla 54? 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Empire Strikes Back, 10 out of 10. And Exorcist, I've yet to watch. But I want to watch that. I have it with me. I have it with me. Death Battle is just kind of for me. It's just a lot of time to build up to the actual fight. I did see the Android 18 versus Captain Marvel, and I was so happy with that. But in terms of Godzilla vs. Gamera, Death Battle's just kind of okay, so I haven't seen that yet. Scariest film I saw as a kid. There are a few good. Here are the top 3 scariest movies I've ever seen. Jaws has always been number 1, even though I like it now as an adventure. That was the one that freaked me out. Poltergeist is the scariest ghost movie ever made, and that always freaks me out. I've yet to watch it since I was a kid, so I might go back and see it again. The remake I refuse to watch. And there's one movie that came out in 2005, and it was one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. It's called The Descent. That movie freaked me out. I watched that late at night at 3 in the morning on TV, and I could not sleep. That had me with a shitload of nightmare fuel. Have you seen Flash Gordon by Dino De Laurentiis? I've seen bits and pieces, and I want to watch it because I love the music by Queen. And as far as I know, Flash Gordon is fucking awesome. I would have preferred if they saved Venom for a totally different movie. Favorite Ray Harryhausen movie? 1 Million Years BC is my favorite Harryhausen movie. Second place, Mighty Joe Young. And third place, The Valley of Guanji. Those are my top 3 in terms of Harryhausen films. And I should point out, September, I will be reviewing 1 Million Years BC, because that is a film that I think needs a lot more attention. I don't think there's really been a good review of it yet, either. You seen Prison Break? No. I never watched that show. Jurassic World 2 will feature more hybrids. I would like to see that, as long as they just, like, are failed experiments and they're not actually do more of those. In terms of the next one, it's like if they did Stegoceratops and we get to see a little bit of it and then it dies because of like the problems with the genetic engineering, that'd be fine. But I don't want a whole movie on that. Kong is a god of balance. Yeah, I'd see that, but I see him more as a beast god. Like, in terms of the Kong Skull Island movie, I did feel like, again, they're trying to portray him as like a protector, but I like my Kong to be very, scary and a beast and a violent animal, and it's only because of the girl that he's actually able to pull back and have heart, and you only feel bad for him at the end. Oh, that Kong Skull Island credit scene was amazing, and I'm looking forward to see what they do. That's a solid 10. Never seen Red Dawn. Okay, one more question, and then I'm going to wrap this up, because, again, this is more of an experimental episode kind of thing. So hopefully this was fun for you guys to do a little Q&A. So one more question. Fire away, and I'll pick one. Yeah, good to see you too, Jack. It's great to interact with the fans. Actually, because I never really get a chance to do that. And if you guys would like to see more of these, let me know, and I'll do more live streams. I don't know about gaming because I have no idea how to do gaming stuff on this platform. I'm only going to use my webcam, if anything. Thank you. All right, do we have one more question? One more question, and I'll take it. Will you review Roar from... Oh, I would love to explore the wildlife of Skull Island, Eric. Absolutely. I think if that actually existed, I would totally go there, and I kind of did go there with my Kong remake and you know, season 3. That was great. But yeah, guys, that's it for this live stream. So again, I cannot believe actually the turnout for this. I'm surprised. I was good to read all your questions, guys, and hopefully I can do more of these in the future. So I guess until the next one, or until the next video, there's more to come. So for now, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. This is Bigjackfilms signing off.